Do you want some hacks for a cleaner home? I've got a fun episode for you today. At least it's going to be fun if you like getting ideas on simple habits that you can start to implement that will make it even easier to keep a clean home. Because I have 8 habits to plug into your current routines to make having a clean home much easier. Are you ready to stop the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm that's filling your life? I'm Renee Matt, and together you and I are going to build simple routines that are going to change your life. When you put these habits into practice, you're going to be able to organize your life in a way where you can be there for your family, pay off your debt, save money, your house can stay organized, you don't have to stress about what's for dinner, and you still get time for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Routine Advantage Podcast. So when we're talking about habits, I love adding habits to our day, to our routines. So I think the biggest difference I should kind of explain here between habits and routines. I think of habits as being like singular tasks or a singular action. And I think of routines as being multiple habits that are kind of clumped together into a routine. And then when you can combine the habits and the routines in a way that works well for you, that just becomes a system in your life. And that's kind of how I would categorize those things. So when you have something like a home cleaning routine, then you have a group of individual habits that are lumped together into a routine. And that is what makes up our daily 7 home routine. And that is why it works so well, is because it's all of those habits stacked on top of each other. And we do no more than 7 at a time so that they can be very quick and you can stay consistent with this and you get faster and faster as time goes on. And then because they're always in the same order, you have that initial one that always acts as that trigger task to really launch you into your routine. And once you do that over and over and over, your body just kind of does it on its own. When it's time to do your daily 7 home routine, you start with that initial task, which becomes the trigger task and launches you into your routine so that you just go through the motions because you have repeated it so many times that it just becomes an automatic routine. And that is what makes keeping your home so much easier because it doesn't feel like this huge task that has to be done. And it ends up being really scattered. You get distracted, and it ends up being a 3 hour home cleaning project rather than a simple 20 to 30 minute routine to reset your entire home. And that is why I love routines, especially within our homes. But when you are building your daily 7 home routine, there are going to be things that don't necessarily get touched because you're keeping it to a minimum. So when you go through that process, you are taking the highest priorities in your life, in your home, and you're building out your routine. But there are certain things that we can do at other times throughout our day to really stack things on top. If you have not heard of habit stacking, it is really amazing. Basically, the concept is that you take something that you naturally are already doing throughout your day or throughout your week that you don't really have to think about. So if it is, say you're brushing your teeth, that's just an easy one to think about. Is say you're brushing your teeth and you want to start flossing because you don't floss as often as you should. So, what you would do is, if that is your goal, you would make it super easy and you would stack it with your brushing your teeth. So, you would want to make sure that you grab your dental floss or your dental floss sticks and put them right next to your toothbrush so that it like cues you that you aren't going to forget about it because you're seeing it. So when you go to brush your teeth, you see that floss and it reminds you to do it right away. And eventually that habit of flossing right after you brush your teeth will become automatic. You won't have to think about it so much because you have stacked it onto something that you already do consistently. So when you are building stacking habits to plug into your home routines, then it's not necessarily plugging it into your daily 7 home routine because that one we want to keep as short as possible, but it's other things that are happening throughout the day that we can add to things that we are doing that just become more automatic, and it doesn't feel like such a big task to keep these things clean in our home because you're just stacking it on something you're already doing. So I have 8 ideas for you, and this just sums up just a few. You could do so many different things, but I wanted you to start thinking about these things so that you can be really intentional about trying to stack something on a habit you are already consistent with. So, if you are really liking these ideas, don't feel like you have to implement all of them. Just take one and stack it and do that for a week or two and see how it goes. And then, while that becomes a habit, then add another one. And then from there, you can continue to add things without it being overwhelming. Just give yourself some time to adjust and get used to having a new habit implemented so that it doesn't feel overwhelming all at once and then you just give up on all of it. So just be really careful with that when you start to implement these. Okay, so number one, the first habit to stack is to move the garbage can when you are sweeping or vacuuming every single time. Because this is something like if you are sweeping and vacuuming, a lot of times we're trying to be really quick and we're just getting around things and we're going through the kitchen, but we don't necessarily take the time to move the garbage can away from the wall and sweep or vacuum under it. Now, I say vacuum, you might think that that's really weird, but I hate sweeping if you don't know that. I don't know why I hate it so much, but I do. So we have a little stick vacuum, and I basically vacuum our entire house, hard floors and everything. And so for me, it's vacuuming, where you might prefer to sweep your kitchen. So you can do that as well. But the habit is that while you're already doing that and you're going through the kitchen, to grab the garbage can, move it out, and go underneath it and move it back in. That is just a really simple thing that helps to catch all those crumbs that tend to sneak behind the garbage can so that you can get that cleaned up and it just feels cleaner without having that like mess behind there. Tip number two is, or habit number two, is that at the end of dishes each night, when you are done washing dishes, grab your dishcloth and do a quick wipe down of your kitchen cabinets, the front of your fridge, your microwave if it needs it, inside and out. And then lastly, do behind the trash can and the trash can itself. This sounds like a lot, but when you do a quick run through of this, and maybe it's not wiping down all of the cabinets if you have a huge kitchen, maybe do those high touch cabinets. But when you're doing this, and obviously I shouldn't have to say it, but I'm going to say it just to clarify, you want to make sure that your dishcloth is clean. Don't do it if you have like chunks of scrambled eggs all over it. Like that would just be disgusting. But if you have a decently clean dishcloth, or maybe grab a fresh one to do this before you're finished with your dish routine, um, then go through, wipe down at least those high touch areas on your cabinets, and then the fridge, the microwave, and the trash can, and then the wall or the countertop or whatever it is behind it. That helps so much in just feeling really fresh in your kitchen. And if you stack it with already doing dishes, it just becomes something that you automatically do at the end of doing dishes without even thinking about it. So it becomes that habit when you stack it on something that makes sense with what you're already doing. Habit number three to start implementing is to clean your shower while you're in it. And this one does seem a little bit weird, but I feel like so many people don't clean their shower very often because it's kind of a pain in the butt. Like nobody, I have never heard of anybody really loving to clean their shower. And if you're one of those people, high five to you because you are rare. So what is a really good habit I feel like to do, and I don't do this regularly, but I have done it in the past because I needed to start having a better routine of keeping our shower clean, and now I do that within part of my daily 7 home routine. So it hasn't been too bad to keep up with that, but it does add an additional time frame to my daily 7 home routine when that becomes something that I'm plugging in there on those days. So, what I like to do is if you have a good cleaner, especially if it's not like a fully like big chemical cleaner, like you obviously don't want to be spraying that and breathing it in while you're in the shower. But if you have a natural shower cleaner, this is a really good one to just before you, or even after, but before you get in, just run the shower for a little bit to wet everything down, turn it off, get in there and like spray everything down, scrub it all down with a rag that you have in there, and then just set it off to the side and do your shower. Because if you're scrubbing your shower, you're probably getting soap and suds and you're probably sweating a little bit and just scrubbing everything down. And you can just shower right away and just be done with it. And then you not only have your shower cleaned, but you also get to shower in a clean shower, which is really nice. So, habit number 4 is that when you are finished in the bathroom, to always straighten it up. And this is something super simple that takes like literally seconds when you are doing this, but to just make it a habit that as you are finishing up there, you just wipe the splatter on the sink, you make sure shower curtains are closed, you make sure the rugs are straightened, you make sure the towels are straightened, and then you just gather up any laundry and bring it out and put it in the laundry basket or wherever it is. If the hamper's in the laundry or in the bathroom, then you can put it in there. But just make sure there's no laundry on the floor. And if the towels are looking a little scuzzy, then make sure you replace those hand towels. But that is just a really quick thing to do before you leave the bathroom to just make sure that the bathroom stays tidy. Then, habit number 5 is to make sure you clean out your fridge before putting any new groceries away. This one is something that we have had to do over time because we used to just have our fridge and it's kind of a pain to clean out the fridge sometimes. So we would just go get groceries, we would put things in, and all of that older food ended up getting shoved to the back. And then all of a sudden, you have things growing in the back of your fridge that you just don't even want to open and they go straight to the trash can. And that is pretty gross. When you can't tell what is in your fridge anymore, we have a problem. So we have created a habit that when we bring groceries home, we have to go through the fridge and pull out any old stuff so that it doesn't keep getting pushed in there. So what we do is we go through and clean out anything that is older, get rid of it, clean those dishes, and then if we have something in there that needs to be used up, we will put it on a certain shelf in it's usually the top shelf that will move everything to so that we can eat up those leftovers, or maybe it's like chopped lettuce that needs to be used up in a salad or something. It goes up there so we can see it and we know that that needs to be added to our next meal planner, so that we can plan to use up these ingredients before they go bad. So just doing that quick refresh, it does not have to be a full, like, clean out your entire fridge and put everything in, but removing all of that old food, just making sure that you move what needs to be used up into a certain area so that you remember to use it up, and then just taking a fresh rag with some soapy water and just wiping it all down really quickly gives you a nice, clean, reset fridge to put your groceries away. And then you don't end up with, you know, mystery items in your fridge anymore. Habit number 6 is to make it a habit to double up tasks. And this is just simply anything that you are doing to just think about like the time perspective. It's going to take more time doing things when you're doing them individually, but if you stack them together, you're going to save time, and eventually you're going when you can double these things up enough, you actually will save time throughout your day and your house will feel cleaner while feeling like you are doing less work. So, some examples might be that if you are walking through the living room and somebody has kicked their socks off on the rug, that you just pick them up on your way to your bedroom where you can just toss them in the laundry basket. So you don't have to make this big thing about resetting the living room and going and cleaning the living room and everything. But if you see them on your way somewhere, grab them, throw them in the laundry basket. Not a big deal. The other idea that you could do is like we have, coolers that we're using in the kitchen, or we have suitcases that we're unpacking from a weekend trip, or extra supplies that when we go shopping and we're adding, extra hand soap or paper towels or laundry detergent, things like that, we're picking it up. All of these things go in our basement. They get stored on shelves in our basement. So when we are putting these things away, or we need to put these things away, we usually end up putting them at the top of the steps. And then the next time we go down, I don't just pass them and go down to the basement and then, make an effort to do that later. I actually do it at the same time. So we put it at the top of the steps because that's quick, but then the next time I go down to the basement, I just grab all that stuff and bring it down with me so that I am doing that while I go downstairs. Maybe I'm, switching laundry around or something like that. But then before I come back up, I'm thinking through what is down there that I could grab now. So maybe it's meat out of the chest freezer that's down there. Maybe it is grabbing some extra, toilet paper rolls to restock the bathroom when I go back upstairs. So it's kind of thinking through those things of what can you do on your way to somewhere else in your house, and just look around you and start gathering those things up and then bring them with you. And eventually, this becomes something that you just do automatically and things start getting put away. And the key here, like a little side note, is this is where it is so important to have everything in your home have a home. Because if you don't have a spot for the things that are cluttering up your home, that is where it can get really hard because you don't know where it goes, and then it gets shoved into some, cabinet or corner, and it just sits there forever because it doesn't really have its own space. So this is where that decluttering is really handy, because then when you're picking things up, you know exactly where it goes. So that is also something to kind of think about as well, and to be a benefit to go through those declutter processes. So, habit number 7 is to make your bed daily and then pick up any clothes that are on the floor or tossed on any furniture. And this one can be hard, especially if you are sleeping with somebody that does not get up at the same time as you. So I make our bed almost every day. I try to make it every day. But I'm not perfect, so sometimes it's not made. But I do try to make it every day, and I will tell you that I do not make it as soon as I get out of bed because I am usually getting up way earlier than Tony is because I take time for my morning routine. And so a lot of times I will have to go back into our bedroom later in the day to make the bed and kind of reset the room and pick up any clothes and get them into the laundry basket, because that is something that I just do a little bit later. But making the bed is always the trigger to make sure that the laundry is picked up. And if you have heard my episode talking about my personal daily 7 home routine and that you can just copy and paste and see how it works for you, you will see in there, and especially the episode that I actually talk about trigger tasks, you will notice that making the bed is my trigger task to begin my daily 7 home routine. So it actually works well for me to be making the bed a little bit later in the day, because then that is what launches me into my daily 7 home routine. And then habit number 8 is to never leave the couch without straightening it up. So if that is, accent pillows on your couch or blankets or even just the cushions themselves, having a straightened living room is a big thing because it is kind of that central focal point of most homes. So making sure that it's not like scattered and kind of looking really messy and chaotic is a really big or is a really good thing to do to help your home feel more tidy. So when you're getting up off the couch, now if you're just running to the kitchen to grab some popcorn for a movie and then coming back, like I'm not expecting you to reset your couch, like that's totally fine. But when you are done with that movie and you're heading to bed, or you are done visiting in the morning, or you're done journaling, whatever you're doing on that couch, and you are leaving the couch and you're not intending to come back to it, then just get up, straighten up the cushions, put the pillows back, fold up the blankets, or drape it wherever you're putting it, and then just reset your couch and then walk away. It like each of these habits can take like literal seconds, but even if it takes you longer than that, it does not take more than just a couple of minutes. So, adding these things into your current routines and your current habits and just stacking them with something that you're already doing consistently is going to help you, or it's going to help you build these habits that will make keeping your home cleaner much easier. And if none of these really resonate with you, think about what is kind of a problem area in your home. Think about something that, gets a little messy, or you find that you just don't feel like you have enough time to do it all the time. Break it down into smaller steps and see what you can do that you can stack onto something you're already doing, and to make it a habit to just reset that little area each day and see how it works for you. So, this has been super helpful for me to do these little things that add value to our home cleaning routine, but it makes it really easy because I don't feel like I'm cleaning all day. It's just automatic to just do these little things throughout the day because we have built up these habits. So I hope that this is helpful for you and that you can take at least one of these and really run with it and just start bringing that into your routine, and that it can make a really big difference for you. So if you want to build your foundational routines, there are 5 foundational routines that I talk about. And if you want to have some help going through those and building those, you can actually go to yourorganizedlifeblueprint.com. And I have a workbook that you can either download the PDF version, or you can get it off of Amazon if you want the actual physical workbook. I also offer coaching if you are interested in that and you want me to help you build your routines, or you want me to help you refine your routines, or to help you go through and build your day stack. I can help with those things. You can actually just email us, and all of those links to email us and for the workbook are in the show notes. You can actually find everything that we have links to in the show notes. You can even join our Facebook community in there. You can download your free Audit Your Habits guide, to really kind of just, it's almost like a little journaling prompt to really evaluate where your time is and what you want to be focusing on. So there's lots of different things in the show notes that can be really helpful for you. So I hope you check that out. And you can even leave an audio review and ask a question too on one of those links. It is just it's called SpeakPipe, and you can click on it and click the little orange button that has you record, and you can actually record a review, a testimonial, or just ask me a question that you would like me to answer on the show. So all of those links can be found in the show notes. But to wrap up this episode, I'm just going to recap really quickly those 8 habits that you can plug into your routines that help you have a cleaner home. So, number 1 is to remove that garbage can and sweep or vacuum behind it every time you are sweeping or vacuuming. Number 2, at the end of your dish routine at night, just quickly wipe down your kitchen cabinets, or at least your high touch areas, the fridge, the microwave, and the trash can, and behind the trash can. Habit number 3 is to clean your shower while you're in it. Habit number 4, when finished in the bathroom, to straighten it up, wipe all the splatter off the sink, close the shower curtain, straighten the rugs, straighten the towels, gather up any laundry, just reset the bathroom before you leave it. Habit number 5 is to clean out your fridge before putting any new groceries away. So just throw out that old food, throw out any of the containers, wipe it down, just reset it before you put anything new in there. Habit number 6 is to make it a habit to double up on tasks. This is where you really want to evaluate what you're doing and see if you can do something else with it. So when you're leaving one room, especially, take a quick glance around, see if there's anything that you can grab and put away on your way to another room. Or before you leave that room, is there anything in that room that needs to go somewhere else? And vice versa, all of that. So just double up on those tasks to be a little bit more time sensitive and time efficient so that you can get a lot of things done in a short amount of time and you're not double backing all the time. Habit number 7 is to make your bed daily and then pick up any clothes that are on the floor or toss on the furniture so that you can reset your room every day before it gets too messy. And habit number 8 is to not leave the couch without straightening the pillows, the blankets, the cushions, and just resetting the couch so it helps keep your living room tidy. I hope those were super helpful for you, and I will see you on the next episode. Did you love that episode or learn something useful? If so, would you do me a huge favor? My goal is to grow this podcast and help as many women as I can break free from the overwhelm so they can truly enjoy their life. The best way for me to do this is for you to leave a 5-star written review on your podcast app and to share this episode with a friend or in your Instagram stories. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.